I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 15th, 2017 meeting of the Delaware County Board of Commissioners. If everyone would please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Jeff Benton, President of the Board. Gary Merrill is absent today. To my right is fellow Commissioner Barb Lewis, our County Administrator Farzana Ahmed. Jen Walraven is our clerk, and we can start.
Resolution number 17-506 in the matter of approving the electronic record of proceedings from regular meeting held May 11th, 2017.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-506. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
We do not have any public comment or elected official comment today, so that brings us to item number 4. Resolution number 17-507 in the matter of approving purchase orders, then and now certificates and payments of warrants in batch number CM APR 0511.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-507. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-508 in the matter of approving travel expense requests.
So moved.
Second. Discussion. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-508. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Item number 6, resolution number 17-509. In the matter of approving an Ohio Department of Job and Family Services, Ohio Department of Medicaid agreement between the Delaware County Job and Family Services Department and the Delaware County Board of Commissioners.
So moved.
Second. Discussion.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Dombrowski with Job and Family Services. This is a standard sub-grant agreement between the county and ODJFS. It allows federal and state funds to pass from ODJFS to the county. And the only changes this year from last year was the inclusion of some language around civil rights. But other than that, there were no significant changes from last year to this. So
This is done every year?
this is done annually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this one is a one-year agreement as well?
It is a one-year agreement.
Okay. It seemed pretty routine. Just wanted to... So it is routine? I mean,
It is routine. So the state enters into a sub-grant agreement with the federal government, which allows the transferring of federal funds to the state. We enter into a sub-grant agreement with the state to allow the state then to take those funds and transfer them to us. You'll see we do this in other areas. For example, we'll sign a sub-grant agreement with Area 7, for example, which then allows WIOA funds to pass to the county. So this is pretty typical.
Okay. All right. Vote.
Vote on motion 17-509. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
One thing before I depart, I wanted to introduce you guys to Steve Sikora. Steve is our new fiscal supervisor, and so he could be coming and presenting things on behalf of the agency, so I just wanted to introduce him to you and you to him.
Welcome,
Thanks,
Steve.
Steve. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where are you coming from?
I worked for
Stephen
R. Sikora from Job and Family Services. I was previously with Children's Services in Medina County for 4 years, and then I left Children's Services for a little bit and came back and worked here I've been here for 3.5 years now. So the last year was a supervisor in Children's Services. So I believe it's no secret that one day I want to be an assistant director or a director. So David and Mrs. Angela Thomas are kind of taking me under their wing and teaching me all they know. So I appreciate being here, and I look forward to working with all of you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. David,
Thanks, David.
just one quick mention. Let's mention this now. Farzan with both Farzan and I went to the National Foster Care Month celebration.
Mm-hmm.
And Gary was also there as well, you're right, and a very nice dinner for the foster parents. So it was, we all sat with different foster families, and it was so interesting to, in my case, I had a couple kids. I shouldn't say kids, they were in high school. Well, kind of kids.
Still kids.
Still kids, yeah. And it was so interesting to see what they were doing, and the one boy was just starting high school, but he was going to intern at Recreation Unlimited, and then the other gal was going to be, I believe, a senior next year, and she had gotten, I'm trying to think of what she's working at Kohl's,
Mm-hmm.
and it had just gotten some recognition. Do you?
I don't know what that recognition was. I was teasing her about Kohl's, so.
Okay.
Yeah, that I definitely remember.
Oh, I know what it was. She had actually sold or convinced 3 people that day to buy Kohl's credit cards.
Oh, that's right, yeah, she was asking me if I wanted
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Oh, did you?
She was working on number 4 at that event.
Oh, all right. They were both really sharp, and the parents, of course, too, so.
So I don't know if they told you those 2 young folks were actually in our system. They were placed with that family. So that's a really good example of the good work our foster parents do in raising those kids after they've had such a tough start in their lives. So that's a testament to the work that they do. And I appreciated you being there, and I know they appreciated you both being there as well. So thank you for that.
And then Judge Hemanowski, too, spoke.
I wanted to add something, if I may, Commissioner.
Sure, oh, sure.
When Judge Hemanowski was speaking, one of the comments he made was about trying to provide the opportunity for kids in foster families and foster placements to get driver's license and all that. I know that Director Nabrowski has talked about that, and I think I kind of sort of dropped the ball on it. So, and the people at my table made that comment too. They said, "Hey, is it possible that none of the other counties allow it, but it would be really good if these kids are able to drive a vehicle, because for a 16-year-old to have that ability to drive is a rite of passage." And so maybe we can talk about that again, Don, and make sure that we've covered all our bases from liability and present it to the commissioners again.
Okay, oh, great.
Very good. Thank you. Good. Thanks, David.
All right, we already voted.
All right, and item number 7, resolution number 17-510, in the matter of declaring personal property obsolete, unfit, or not needed for public use, and the intent of selling such property via internet auction or disposal of property of no value.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning, John Melvin, Director of Facilities. We have the following list of vehicles who have been removed from service in various states of disrepair. We're ready to do a little spring cleaning and get rid of these vehicles, sell them on internet auction.
What do you think the value on these is? Do you?
They'll range anywhere from $250 to maybe $1,500.
Okay, so pretty nominal value.
Yeah, the exception may be one of the 2011 Crown Vics was turned in from the Sheriff's Office. It needed quite extensive repairs, dollar-wise. It's almost like a test. I'm going to be curious to see what that one brings. So it's a newer model. It needed exhaust manifold replaced, and we put $3,000 or $4,000 into it, fixing it to meet our needs. So.
Okay. The mileage on these are all high mileage?
Yes, they vary anywhere from 100 and actually the lowest one, 121,000 up to 233,000 miles. So it depends on the usage. Obviously, the Crown Vics get used more, and so, like the maintenance vans don't leave town. So actually, the higher mileage on the Crown Vics actually have less wear than one of our maintenance van who's just constantly short trips. It's a lot harder on the vehicles.
Okay. All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-511. Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, thanks, Jim.
I might have read the wrong number. Did I read the wrong number? Resolution number 17-512. In the matter of approving a contract of sale and purchase between Genoa Township Land Conservation Association and the Board of Delaware County Commissioners for Del CR 24-0.07.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
Good morning. I'm Rob Riley, Chief Deputy Engineer. We have reviewed this proposed purchase with you last week. This is one of the parcels required for our improvements to South Old 3C Highway starting later this year, and we are recommending approval.
Okay.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-512. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
Resolution number 17-513. In the matter of approving the owner's agreement for Vinmar Village, Section 3.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
This is our standard development agreement for construction of street and stormwater improvements. This is a 24-lot subdivision in Genoa Township off of Old 3C Highway, and we are recommending approval of this.
Is this with Vinmar, is there just one Vinmar, or there are different phases of, this is just another phase of the first Vinmar?
That's correct. It's the original subdivision was Vinmar. This is Vinmar Village, which is just to the north of the original
Oh, just,
Vinmar.
okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, vote.
Vote on motion 17-513, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Resolution number 17-514, in the matter of approving a right-of-way work permit summary sheet.
So moved.
Second, discussion.
We received 4 permit applications this round, and staff has reviewed the work and recommends approval.
Okay, vote.
Vote on motion 17-514, Mrs. Lewis.
Aye.
Mr. Benton.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rob.
That brings us to administrator reports.
Just a couple of quick items. Today is the Peace Officers Memorial Day, and in commemoration of that, of course, our flags are flying at half-staff. We are all aware of the tragedy last week in Kirkersville. It's too bad that it happened to coincide with the Peace Officers Memorial Day. But on a different note, it was my pleasure to attend and I'll let you give the details on that, Commissioner, but I did want to mention that I was standing at Ohio Wesleyan at the graduation of somebody I know, and guess who gets up to be part of the ceremony? None other than Commissioner Benton. So I said, okay, I know him.
That's right.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. Phillips Glen, for those of you who have been there, is a great forum or venue for a graduation ceremony, the 4th of July concerts, and so on. It was a beautiful day, and 383 graduates got their diplomas. So it was,
Oh, my. So what did you do?
I was just, on behalf of the board, I was welcoming everyone and congratulating them.
Oh,
And
great.
introduced some of the award winners, the teachers award winners. Because there was one award winner in particular I got to mention, and his name is Bob Olmsted, Olmstead, and he is a prolific author and very well published, and he's on the staff that does creative writing on Wesleyan's faculty, and he wrote a trilogy of the 3 books are Coal Black Horse, Far Bright Star, and The Coldest Night, and it's set in Civil War, the Spanish-American War, and then the Korean War. And it covers kind of the same family, and it's very well written, and has received lots of national acclaim. There's been bestsellers on a number of lists, and they're making one into a movie, The Far Bright Star. It's going to be being made into a movie with Joaquin Phoenix, and so it's going to be, it's going to be a real tribute to one of Ohio Wesleyan's journalism professors. So that was very. And he's writing another one that's coming out, the Last of the Buffalo Hunters, about the buffalo hunting in the 1870s in the Buffalo area of the Midwest, and how they wiped out the buffalo population. But anyway, just again, fascinating author, great author, fascinating guy, great stories. So anyway, it was really
to get all the names from you.
Yeah,
Sounds
it's
really good.
Very interesting books. That's it? Okay.
Thank you.
Commissioner Lewis?
Well, let's see. I went to Delaware County Family and Children First Council, and one of the things that they are grappling with, there's a new Ohio Children's Trust Fund, and there's a Central Ohio Regional Prevention Council, and it was mentioned that some of the monies, though, that in the past had gone to actually service children directly is now going to academic institutions. So there was some discussion on that, and there will not be any Delaware will not get any money from that. Counties will not get any money from that. So that was a source of displeasure. And That's really it. Everything else was pretty much just regular business, so. And the only other thing I wanted to mention with the budget for the state of Ohio is now over in the Senate, and there were a couple of amendments that were adopted that have been backed by the Ohio County, our
CCAO.
Yeah, CCAO, County Commissioners Association of Ohio, and in an email they issued, they mentioned that county jails, as we know, are a pressure point being affected by opiates, and so they, CCAO, along with the Buckeye State Sheriff's Association, had recommended 3 initiatives to help ease the burden on our jails to receive funding. One was a $15 million per year fund to establish a statewide behavioral health triage program that will support 6 regional centers based around the state hospitals areas for individuals experiencing mental health crisis, and then also 9 regional centers for individuals who are in immediate need of withdrawal management. And then also $12 million was allocated to the ADAM boards to assist them in providing direct treatment and counseling services to county jails. And this will create continuity of care for inmates suffering from mental illness or addiction. And the third initiative, which was not funded, they had requested that the state allocate $4 million to reimburse counties for certain drugs in which county jails are paying for, but are actually prescribed. But the jails have not been, that was turned down. The jails have not been funded for that. And now it's over in the Senate, so we'll see what happens with this in the Senate.
Right.
And that's it.
Tied into the Stepping Up initiative?
In the sense that it will help those
Goals.
Yes, with
Population.
healing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, well, good.
So that's,
Stay
yeah.
tuned.
Yes, stay
As
tuned
always,
for
when
the
you have
next.
the budget.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that it?
That's it.
Okay, just a couple other things. As Commissioner Lewis mentioned, the CCAO is working on a number of initiatives relating to counties and their funding as it relates to the statewide budget. There is no firm agreement on Medicaid funding, the managed care organization sales tax going away. That's still up in the air.
That's still,
We participated in a call Friday about that, and that's the #1 topic for the CCAO right now, to get that funding resolved and hopefully reinstated. We do have we got some things coming up. Senior Hall of Fame is Wednesday. We honored Mr. Ranneberger last week, and he receives his honor presentation at the state organization this Wednesday. We have some representatives from Pakistan and India coming in on Wednesday, and that should be very interesting. It's always interesting to meet with folks, government leaders from other areas of the world, and share ideas and different ways of doing government. So it will be very interesting. At the MORPC meeting on Thursday, they did approve the Transportation Improvement Project plan for 2018 to 21. Pretty much it was as we had expected and as we had studied. The Metropolitan Transportation Plan was approved as well. Today's paper has Jane Hawes in it. Now, Jane is not here today, but yeah, she was in the Dispatch.
Oh, wow.
Giving a tour of the. John, you were quoted in there extensively. It was in she was in this on the second page, and the article was about the new courthouse and how it's very different from the existing courthouse because of security and other requirements. And nice. It was a good article, about the different, the new requirements for the courthouse and so on. And I think that's about it. I would like to wish all the mothers. There's a number of mothers here today. Happy belated Mother's Day, and hope everyone had a nice day yesterday. It was a beautiful day outside.
It was, gorgeous day.
So, with that, we do have need for executive session.
Resolution number 17-515, in the matter of adjourning into executive session for consideration of purchase of property for public purposes.
So moved.
Second, discussion, vote.
Vote on motion 17-515. Mr. Benton?
Aye.
Mrs. Lewis?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session.